Hi friends, and welcome to another video. Happy Saturday everyone. I decided that this weekend I wanted to attempt making a weekend vlog because most of the time I have to do my hobbies and do the things that I enjoy fall on a weekend, and I just thought it would be fun to try and see if bringing you along on a weekend vlog would be something that you like to see, and if it makes me more productive, because I have a feeling it may, because I have you to hold me accountable, and I feel like that lights a fire under my arse and makes me go a bit faster. So hopefully I will get a lot done this weekend. And this is going to be a hobbies vlog, so there will be reading, cross stitch and crochet. So if you're into any of that, then please stick around and you can just vibe along with me as I make my way through my weekend. The first thing I would like to do is finish The Coven by Harper L. Woods. This is the glorious Fairy Loot Romantasy edition. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I love this cover. There is a dust jacket, but I don't want to put the dust jacket on because this is glorious. So in this we follow Willow, and Willow is a witch. She has been living outside the coven and with her mum under a protection spell, but they all knew that one day she would be found by the coven, and that day happens and she's dragged to Hollow Groves University, where the witches and the coven reside. And this university used to be booming until a massacre happened and they shut their gates. Now they've reopened for legacies, and Willow is there not only because she got dragged there, but because she is out for vengeance for her family. And insert headmaster Alaric Thorne. He has taken a liking to Willow. I had no idea that there was vessels, which is essentially vampires in this story. So not only are we getting witches, we're getting vampires, and I'm down for it. I'm also down for the fact that Willow and Thorne have this I hate you, want to fuck you scenario going on. So I'm into this, very much into this, and I really want to finish it because it's short, I'm enjoying myself. I have 3 books on the go at the moment, which is more than I would like. I'm normally a 2 book at a time kind of gal, so the 3rd book kind of added a little bit more pressure for me, even though it's self-imposed pressure. But I would just like to finish this so I can go back to my 2 books at a time scenario. So I am going to read this now. I will run through what I would like to get done in this vlog, but I think after I film this clip, I'm going to read for a bit before I go make myself some breakfast. So let's talk about cross stitch. When I came home last night, I done all my bits and bobs that I had to do to give me Saturday, Sunday freedom. I don't finish work until 7 o'clock at night, so by the time I get home, it's probably about 8, and I don't have much time on a Fridays, but on Saturday and Sunday, I have all my free time. So I did start stitching last night. I started stitching The Witcher by Thread Geeks. I will pop in a picture of what this will look like finished, and this is how much I was able to achieve. I will pop a side-by-side comparison on what it looked like last night to what it looks like now. I'm so happy with this. You can actually start to see something almost immediately from this pattern, and I'm really enjoying it. I started with a hilt, and I'm gonna work my way down the sword and out into Geralt's face, and I'm just obsessed. So this was actually a new start for me. So this hasn't been seen on my flosstube yet, and I would like to just add a few more stitches so that when I show it, it's it's a new start with a substantial start instead of just a meager one. I think I'm gonna give this another hour and just see what I can get done. I think I'm about between 600 and 700 stitches complete. Yeah, so I would like to give this another hour just to see how much I can get done, and then I will be switching cross stitch projects. I don't think I've mentioned on any of my floss tubes or any of my videos but I am crocheting everyone in my family Christmas gifts. So this is a scarf that I'm working on. I actually bought some Aldi yarn. It was like $1.30 for a cake, and I've already made a scarf with the other cakes that I bought, but this is the one that I'm working on at the minute. And it's just like a ombre pink. I'm doing this like double crochet ribbing, so double crochet in the back loops only. I really hope maybe if I come closer you'll be able to see the ribbing. So I would like to finish the yarn, the ball of yarn that I have left, which is not much, to be honest. It's just essentially yarn barf at this precise moment. And so I would like to finish this yarn here and tie on the second skein so that I can get quite a good amount of progress. And I think this is going to be quite a good length once it's all done, because I like my scarves to kind of feel like a blanket. So everyone in my family are getting scarves. Well, all the women are getting scarves and scrunchies, and the men are getting beanies. So I will be working on this and potentially working on some scrunchies. I'm not 100% sure yet, but as of right now, I'm gonna go read for a little while before I have some breakfast, and then I will come back when I have something to update. So I have just done a little reading sprint here, and I got to page 164. Now, I'm really enjoying this. This is definitely my kind of book, and I really wish that I had read this sooner, because I love the magic system in this. You follow, you know, witches that have the elements, and then you have necromancers, sex witches, and they all follow a very distinct familial line that goes right up to the Covenant. And the Covenant are the people that rule over the witches, and they're also the ones that keep the vessels in line. And I'm enjoying this, but I just wish we got a little bit more of a feel for the magic system, because even though we know the magic and the witches and the Covenant rules over all, because Charlotte made a deal with the devil to create witches. Alongside witches, the vessels were created, which is the devil's answer to keep an eye on the witches. And they became too strong. So the witches, they now need to feed on the witches in order to stay alive. So it in turn ties the vessels to the witches. I understand all this, right? But I wish we had just like a little bit more of the deal that Charlotte made. I wish we understood why, because the Covenant is like, they're all skeletal, so they aren't actually still human. And we are like, even though we're told that they're powerful, they don't actually have much power because they have neglected the old ways of magic. And this is why I love Willow so much, because she was taught the old ways of magic, and like she gives back to the earth in order to feel the magic, and that's really what like the witches need in this. I think that it's a little scarred. It's a little scarred. I understand everything. I'm with it. I get it. I like it. I just wish that we were told all of this in like the inciting incident part of the book. So if we were told this in like the first third of the book, but we're still learning as we go, but it would have been really good to have this information before we kind of got to Hollow's Grove. If we had like maybe a flashback or two of Willow training with her father, or, you know, learning magic from her mother, so that when we're thrown into the like the school and the witches working, we could really see like just how abandoned the old ways have been instead of being told. I am going to go into just teeny tiny little bit of spoilers, so I will leave a thing on screen in case you don't want to be spoiled. So I am really liking the interactions between Gray and Willow. I think that with Gray being a vessel, he invoked Dominion, which is essentially he has like rubber stamped her. He's like branded her. She is now his. No other vessel can touch her. The Covenant cannot like step in if he was to protect her, right? So he pretty much owns her ass, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that, but there's something going on. Like, I believe if Willow wasn't out to destroy the vessels, because essentially Willow wants to find the bones of her ancestors so she can take on the Hecate, or yeah, Hecate magic, and she could take on essentially Charlotte's magic and destroy the Covenant and destroy the vessels at the same time. So really, she's everyone's enemy. But I think if she gave the vessels a shot, right, she could return magic to its old time and work with the vessels, which, I mean, is that going to happen? I don't know. But I honestly don't see her and Gray, like, turning their backs on each other now. Like, I feel like it's been set up to her being like, I need to destroy the Covenant, and also the vessels are going to go with them. But in reality, with her relationship growing with Gray, is probably not going to happen that way. She's probably going to destroy the Covenant. And my predictions are that she will destroy the Covenant and she will return witches to their old way, but she will find a way for the vessels to live simultaneously with the witches. That's my thing. And there's just little things in here, as I said, that are a bit scattered. I wish that, you know, they weren't. And but I am enjoying it, and I think, like, it's reading as a 4 stars. I am vibing with the romance, I'm vibing with the witches, the magic system, the additional vampires, which I didn't know was going to be in here. So I'm vibing with everything. The only thing that's stopping this being a 5-star is because the magic and how it was all created and how the Covenant was created and how the vessels work and everything just wasn't, like, it wasn't explained enough at the start, and now I feel like I'm just being told things instead of shown things. But apart from that, I'm really enjoying this. But my belly keeps rumbling, and I'm gonna go eat some food before I swap over to cross stitch. And this is the progress I've managed to make on The Witcher. I just really filled in dog butt, dog face, my companion. I just really filled in all the gaps that I had left. And I've got one stitch, you can really see it. I've got one stitch in there that really needs stitched in. But I will get there. I will get there. So I am now at 700 and something, 715 stitches complete. I managed to get 101 stitches complete on this sprint, and I am very happy with the progress I have now made on this. I hit 2%. I will maybe leave up here what I managed to achieve and where I'm at on this project, and I'm very excited about how this is turning out, and it looks so good already. It looks so good. So I'm now going to swap this pattern out for another cross stitch, and this is the bookshelf temperature chart. So I forget the name of the Etsy shop that I bought this from. I will leave that on screen somewhere. I will also leave what this will look like finished, but it's going to look different because I'm just stitching the frame. And essentially with these, you stitch, every book represents a day and you stitch the temperature on that day. I'm swapping this out to pages red. So every day in 2025, I will be tracking my pages and I will be stitching in each book that references how many pages I read that day, or the page range I read that day. So this is where we're starting with this one. And I really love this. I am changing this because I wanted a more cottagecore feel to it. So I'm using hickory sticks by Classic Colorworks for the frame, and then I'm using for the highlights, I can't remember what color it is I'm using. I'm using 3862 for the highlights. So for this one, I am really just working the frame in, hoping to get more frame done so that when 2025 rolls around, I can just start filling in the books. And I'm doing it on hand-dyed fabric by River Hut Designs. It's like got greens and oranges and pinks, and I feel like this is going to lend well to like the cottagecore color palette that I am choosing. I still have to choose my colors for the ranges, and I'm a little bit nervous but also excited to pick the colors, but I'm gonna leave that till probably December and just work on the frame for the moment. So this is our starting point, and I will be back when I have more to update. Hi vlog, I am back and it is now Sunday. I went out for dinner last night, so I didn't update, but I did do things when I came home. So this is the progress that I made on temperature bookshelf. This grey right here is the butt of a cat, and I'm so excited. So excited. So I think I got about 140 stitches in last night, and I'm very excited. I'm actually going to keep this one out and stitch on this again today after I do all of my filming. I just filmed my floss tube, so I have lots and lots of shit all around me. But I'm going to keep this one out because I would like to stitch on this today. And then I finished the last bit of yarn I had left in that cake. So now we are looking like this. And I need to decide, so this is what the cake looks like. And I now need to decide if I want to pull from the center again and make it go back to the light color so that it'll be like this, and then it'll go back to light, so when it goes on, I wonder, you get the dark and then the light, and then on the other side you'll get the light to the dark. Or if I want to do pull from the outside, and then it will be dark and then light on each side. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I did complete the first cake, so now we have the second cake. And I just thought while I was here, I would show you what my first scarf came out like. This was also using the yarn from Aldi's. The color is beautiful. The color is beautiful. I even added some tassels. Let me just fold this up. I even added some tassels to the end. So this is the first scarf that I made for Christmas. This is now the second scarf. I am doing good. I also made a cat ear beanie, because how cute are the cat ear beanies? I made it with faux fur, and this is for my sister. And I was kind of thinking that I would give her the pink scarf as well, so like it could match well if you wear it like this way, and then, you know, so it could be kind of cute, be like a Christmassy winter moment with the cat ears and the pink. I mean, I feel like my sister would wear this. My sister is quite funky. so she could definitely pull this off. And I don't know, I think it would be kind of cute, the pink set. This is also a contender for my sister because her favourite colour is purple. So I could do the pink hat with the purple scarf, or I could do the pink and the purple and the pink scarf. Not sure yet. At this precise moment, I am just making things. And then afterwards, I will decide who's getting what. Makes sense, right? What else do I have? I have read more of the Coven, but I am not going to update because my thoughts are still kind of the same from the last update I did. And at this point, I think I would rather just come back once I've finished the book. Another thing that I would like to stitch on today is Santa's House by Cottage Garden Samplings. This has a very meagre start, so I would like to get just a little bit more on it because this is a very sad start. And I think what my plans are for the day is I'm going to pop that in there now and sort all that out later. I think my plan for the day is to finish filming. I have one video down. I would like to film 2 more. And then I would like to do another hour on Temperature Bookshelf. I would like to figure out what I'm doing with this. I would like to finish the Coven, and I would like to pick up Santa's House. Now, this all may not happen, but I would like to get some progress at the very least. And it feels like it's been a very productive weekend nonetheless. I have stitched, I have crocheted, I have read, I have filmed. I'm feeling quite impressed with myself this weekend. So I think I am going to go off. I'm going to film the videos that I have left to film. And then after that, I will sit and crochet and cross stitch and read. And hopefully I will come back in with a cross stitch update. But I will definitely be back in tomorrow morning to wrap this whole video up and just check in. Okay, I'm gonna go and do things now. Here is the progress I managed to make on Temperature Bookshelf. It's looking so cute. I have decided that I'm really going to try and work in this first bookcase, which will be the bookcase I need first for the months of 2025. So I'm just working along, and I've got like a grey cat butt coming in there. And the good thing is I have all this fill-in left, so when I come back to this project, I will be able to just fill in the highlights, and that will be like an easy job. Another thing that I realised was I have done this whole video wearing this hoodie. Now, as I was editing, I thought maybe I should like add in a clip where I'm not wearing the hoodie. But this has only been over the course of 2 days, and this is an adequate depiction of how I spend my time at home. Like, it's getting cold, I love my hoodies. This one will now go in the wash, and I will swap out to my other one because I have wore this for 2 days. But I don't see the point in trying to change how I spend my time because it's just not accurate. And if this whole video is filmed in me in this dang hoodie, then that's a pretty accurate representation of my life, of how I spend my time, my free time, in a hoodie doing my hobbies. So, you know, also my face is broken out, my nose is so sore, and I don't know if it's like the weather or anything, but we're gonna pretend I don't look like Rudolph. I'm a month too early. Okay, I'm a month too early. I also finished the Coven. I left the book downstairs, so I'm going to insert the cover here. I'm a little disappointed in this one, so I was really hyped for it. I have been hyped for it for a while, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I would say it's probably a 3.5, which, if you don't know, I have a rule now on my shelves that anything under a 3.5, I unhaul straight away. And I'm so happy that this one just scraped the margins, because I really, really love the Fairy Loot edition. I don't care if that sounds shallow. I want this like beautiful book on my shelves. So I'm really glad that it's like scraped that 3.5 line, because if it hadn't, I would have probably offered it to my friend. I thought there's spice in this book, right? I'm pretty sure everyone knows that there's spice, but I did not like the spice. The spice was actually written fairly well, in my opinion. It wasn't like cringy or icky or anything. The issue I had with the spice is that it took precedent over plot, and I can't do that. Like, I have to have decent plot with my spice. Also, I was really annoyed because the first half of this book was a 4-star, and then it just started gradually like dwindling down. And even though I will be reading the sequel, because this book does leave on a cliffhanger, I was just a little let down. It kind of turned insta-lovey, which I'm not the biggest fan of. If you're going to do insta-love, it has to be done like so well for it to work. And it fell into that trap of, because it was insta-love and because the spice was kind of taken over moments where we could have had plot development, it kind of fell into that like that pit of being like, it didn't feel like Gray and Willow had huge amounts of chemistry. At the start, it was enjoyable and I could see where it was going. And then once it turned insta-lovey and like it started doing like smut instead of plot development, that's when I started to like not get with the chemistry of the two main characters. I will say though, the last chapter of this book had me like, I am invested now and I want to know what happens next. And I kind of hope that the second book does the opposite of this one, where it actually flips it and makes the plot like the more important part of the story. Like, this book had plot, and this book had such a promising like plot line, like the witches, and it fell flat because we were told about all these witches, but we were only shown one witch. We were only shown one kind of magic. And then we were told about these vessels, but we're following the strongest vessel. So we're never really like into how they were made and how they function and how their connection with witches. Like, we were told some things, but it still left a little to the imagination. And then on top of that as well, a thing that like kind of annoyed me was the virginity thing. I'm gonna spoiler tag this because I feel like this is an actual spoiler. So if you don't want spoilers for this book, wait until the tag is off the screen. The virginity thing was so uncomfortable. Like, Willow's dad made her like keep her virginity so that it would drive the vessel mad. And yes, okay, it did add up, but it just was such a focal point. No, it didn't actually need to be that way. It was such a focal point that it became like kind of uncomfortable. And I also kept forgetting in this story that we were following Willow, who's 20 years old, and the actions of her and the people around her do not read as 20-year-olds. Like, I know 20-year-olds are still young and stupid and like they haven't matured fully yet, right? But she was acting and they were acting more like 16-year-olds. The setting could have been like so great, but it just fell to the wayside. I think the side characters were just paper. Like, there was no need for them. They were just there to advance the plot. There's this whole reaping thing that's like witches will like let vessels feed from them, but they have to be like tied up and blindfolded, and like they have no idea what vessel it is, and it's like this whole thing, and I'm like, just like, why? And it says that it's to stop the connection between witches and vessels, but it doesn't matter because like even if they know who fed from them, it's still forbidden. It's just, I don't know, it was just kind of a strange additive to have in there, especially because these characters read really young. So having this like kind of BDSM feeding scene in the middle of these characters reading like teenagers felt so uncomfortable. I will say though, the thing that got me is I enjoyed the magic. I did enjoy the magic we did see, and I enjoyed the world. I just wish that we seen other kinds of magic more. I wish we spent time with other characters more to really build up the magical setting. And I think if we had done that, it would have advanced the plot so much. I also liked the ending, which I didn't see coming, to be honest, but it was one of those that was like could either go like it could go either way. And at the start of this book, there is like a warning saying like the hero is not a hero, like he is actually a villain. And I will say that that is true. Like this is villain gets a girl, and I think that's what got me in the last chapter, because I was like, ooh, okay, what happens next? So I am interested in the sequel. I did read this in a couple of days. It's fun, it's fast, it was fine. I just feel like I was let down because I was so hyped for it, and unfortunately it just didn't quite hit the marks that I wanted it to hit. So I mean, I read it, and it's 3.5 star. I didn't take up my crochet either. Apparently I just left everything downstairs. So I did tie on my second cake, and I decided to tie it on from the outside so that the dark pink sits here and either side has like the ombre effect. I only got like 2 rows in before I started watching Agatha All Along, so essentially last night all I done was binged Agatha All Along, and I'm not mad at it because I enjoyed that show. And I haven't watched WandaVision, so now I feel like I need to go back and watch WandaVision, which I may do because Agatha was great. It was great, and now I have till Thursday to wait until the last 2 episodes drop, and I'm so excited. I'll be there. And I have like time off work, so I'm only in Monday to Wednesday this week, and then I have till next Tuesday off, which I'm so excited about. I also have a hair appointment, and normally I get like blonde put into my hair, and I think like I'm still gonna do that, but I think I want it to be like more caramelly brown, like kind of stick to my darker colors for the winter. I'm not 100% sure. I always get really weird about my hair. Like I get my hair done once a year. That's it. I trim the ends. I trim the ends myself when they get too scraggly, right? And then once a year I go get it dyed, and then I just leave it to thingy out. I get so weird about people cutting my hair. My hair doesn't like bleach, so like it needs time to like feel nice. Like the last time I got my hair done, I got it over bleached than what I would normally get, and it felt so horrible. It was like triggering my senses, and I didn't like it. This is a total tangent. So I have some time off, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, I mean, I don't have anything more to say. This video actually turned out a lot longer. Apparently I chat so much, even in just like it's now Monday, so like a 2.5 day vlog. It's just because I do so many things, I think. But I would love to know if you like these form of videos, if you like coming along with me for a couple of days, seeing all my progress and all the projects I'm working on and whatever I'm reading. I would love to know if this is like a vibe you like. And yeah, I thank you so very much for watching. Remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.